Welcome back to the channel. And I had to cut the last video short. I was in the process of filming the third clip of the video. Filming the best sounding V8 it is out there. Best iconic sounding V8 it is out there. But cause I got a call from the police department. It was an officer, telling me, he identified himself and whatnot, and he said, there was some graffiti that went on last Saturday evening at the church. The report was made. You was noted down as the culprit. Things like that. I'm making a long story short. And he told me the exact time it happened. And I told him, I got a video at 10:47 p.m. that same night, approximately 3 miles away. So, which he did tell me they reviewed video and, and stuff like that. And my car was not seen nowhere near. I was not seen nowhere near. So he told me basically I'm the suspect because they, the gang labeled me as the suspect, told the police this. But the way the officer basically said it was I wasn't a suspect, because there was no proof leading to me, as the culprit. And like I said, I got a video, the time he told me, 2 minutes later, he told me at 10:45, I believe, 10:45 on April 19th, Saturday, April 19th, the graffiti was done, and all that, he just basically gave me the time. 2 minutes later, at 10:47 p.m., April 19th, I'm about 3 miles north at the filming spot, at my other filming spot at the old projects with one of the homies. So basically, like I told the detective, I said, I got the video, I can meet you, I can show you the video, whatnot, which the video, like I told him, the video is on my YouTube account. I told him I run YouTube, and I told him I got the video up there and whatnot, and this, that, and the third. So he basically kind of told me, like, they not finna go all into that because, basically there's no proof. And why is there no proof? Because that wasn't me. So basically, I'm a suspect because the gang labeled me as a suspect, but the police department hasn't took me off the radar as a suspect, right? Basically, they can make up accusations all they want, but they have to have proof. And by me being approximately, 3 miles away at the time, 2 minutes later, how the hell can I get 2 miles from the gang headquarters to my film spot? How can I get there in like 2 minutes? 3 miles in 2 minutes? Come on, I need a jet for that. Because even if I had a Ferrari, I wouldn't make it there that damn fast, because you got traffic lights and other cars on the road and whatnot. I would need a jet for that. I would need to just go straight off in the sky and then go right down, I would need a jet for it. So basically, I'm not a suspect in the police eyes, which I should never been no way, because, like I told him, he asked, have it been any problems and whatnot. And I told him, I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, everything that goes on, like my mom had said, my mother-in-law said, they both said this on the phone to each other last year. Anything that goes down, that gang gonna blame me. And I told the officer that. I say, anything that goes on, they blame me. I say, hell, I got blamed for a broken window when I was 500 miles away in Memphis, Tennessee. I got blamed for that. I say, anything that goes on, they blame me. I say, because they don't have nothing else better to do. They can't really dig and look themselves. It's just much easier blaming me. He said, I get that, he asked what was the beef. I told him, I say, it basically, I told him how it basically started. I said, it basically started with one person lying, and then another person coming in and lying, and it's just a major shit show. So, I was straight with him, I was straight with the officer. And I told him, I say, he's just a major shit show right now. So, hey, it is what it is. But like I say, Basically, in the police eyes, I'm not even a suspect because, again, there is no proof. And why there isn't any proof? Because I was not involved. You know, how could I graffiti on a building and then be about 3 miles north 2 minutes later? That's impossible. It just took me 2 minutes to get from the film spot to here. And that ain't even a whole mile, so it's crazy work though. You know, and they ain't got nothing else better to do than just say it's me, you know, and bro, it's really gonna be a shit show when the kettle start whistling. You know, if I say that right. You know, when the teapot start whistling, it's gonna really be a shit show, cause things gonna come out and they not gonna expect it because it's gonna show that I was not involved. But anyways, I'll catch y'all in the next video. As always, stay positive, stay away from gangs, stay away from crash outs, like, comment, and subscribe.